Bienvenidos and welcome back, my friends, to another awesome metal reaction. On my girlfriend's channel, the link is on the description down below. We had the pleasure of listening to an awesome band from Ukraine called Jinjer. Their song titled Vortex was the very first song that I heard of theirs. I had never heard of Jinjer before that song, and I fell in love with their sound instantly. Other than the drum parts to the song, another part of my favorite parts was the bass. The bass was a whole vibe all on its own. And today we're checking out Vortex bass one take playthrough with our boy Eugene. I seriously obsessed over this bass line for weeks. This band is from the Ukraine, and Jinjer is raising money to help those in need. So they are selling merch. More on that later on in this video. If you're ready to go, let's do this. Love the way that the drum comes in here. He's in the zone here.
Like a lunatic, frantic. The man in the room looks so dramatic.
When I think about music, I think of it as a journey, and a lot of times I imagine a landscape. The bass sets the tone of how fast we're walking through that landscape or how slow we're walking through that landscape. I love the simplicity of this bass line in the first verse. It sets a perfect tone for that adventurous drum beat underneath it.
The man in the room looks so dramatic with a latch on his right foot. This wide road traffic feels too dramatic.
Nice.
Dramatic.
Oh, cool. Oh, okay. This is the first time in a very long time that I've seen a bass player strum a chord on the bass. The accenting is perfect because it feels like an attack. I love this part so much because the bass and the drum play a very special role here. Tatiana is singing up here, telling her own story, and the bass and drum here seem to be powering up her story with a story of their own. It's really interesting what they're doing in this part. When metal bands make these giant leaps and change gears the way that they just changed, it shows just how much they value expression over anything else. Yes, there's a lot of technical things happening in this song, things that I can't even begin to explain myself. But on the human side of that, on the receiving end, on the listener's part, there's a lot of things that are happening here in the music, emotionally speaking, that speaks to a very primal part of us. They're switching it up again here. Interesting. See, I love what they're doing here. They've already changed the pattern once, and now they're building on that new pattern change. I'm already tired. And now here they took us up and changed the entire landscape to something a little bit more smoother. part. Now what's going on here? In the music video, you see a vortex opening up, right? But what the music has done is it has entered into a void. The ominous tones in the background are setting us up for something disastrous. And my favorite part. All right, what's about to happen here, musically speaking, even if you haven't seen the original video, is chaos completely breaking loose, sucking everything into the black hole. Doesn't matter if it's good, it doesn't matter if it's bad, it just consumes everything. You got a heavy pause. Space. We're gonna hear that again, but I want you to take notice of something here. That moment of silence that you heard, thinking of things in terms of landscape, like I mentioned earlier, the moment leading up to that silence is like the ground sort of shaking. And that silence is as if the ground stopped moving, and for a moment there, peace. For a moment there, silence. For a moment there, calm. And you're thinking to yourself, is it over? And then boom, you're just hit with it. Editor, play that back. Ground shaking. Beautiful, beautiful work. So this is the first song that I heard of this band, and I obsessed over this bass line because it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. It is such a beautiful song. It starts off peacefully, sort of ominous, and it ends in chaos. Now we all know that there are people that are turned off by metal because of how dark it is, and they believe that it's, you know, satanic and all that. And I want you to know that depending on the artist, that's not true for me. Metal music has a tendency of touching on subjects that a lot of us run away from. Things like death, things like mental illness, things like anger and violence, things that are normal and natural in a human being. It brings those thoughts and those emotions up to the surface and shines a light on it in hopes to gain some kind of insight that will help us be rid of it once and for all. While one group ignores those emotions and pretends to be happy or forces themselves to be happy and not know what to do when those emotions do arise, we have another group of people who embrace those emotions, who break those emotions down, who tear them up piece by piece to understand them. And when those emotions are understood, they are overcome, leaving you to fully embrace those happy moments, because how can you know what happy is without those terrible moments? How else would you know love, peace, and joy if it weren't for those dark and raw and scary emotions? As I mentioned earlier in this video, Jinjer is from Ukraine, and they are selling merchandise to help raise money to help people in Ukraine who are suffering through this terrible situation. If you head over to Jinjer's channel, and the link is down below, and go to their communities tab, Jinjer recently had a show in Dallas, Texas, and now they're going to have a show in New Orleans on the 28th of March. If you're interested in checking them out, you can go to inthismomentofficial.com and get tickets to go see that show. I provided you with the links in the description down below to their website, their YouTube channel, and their merch store. Please click on the link and get your merchandise today, and you'll be doing the world some good. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in our next adventure. Peace!